What is going on, everyone? Anthony Drew Gary here, host of the How To Show. And this week I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the changes that have happened in the incentives for contributing to a 529 account, specifically in Indiana, but there's a likelihood that this will happen in other states as well, so pay attention even if you're not in the same state I am. So what has happened in the last General Assembly, they approved an increase to the state tax credit that you would receive if you contribute to a 529 account. And before I lose half my audience who says that I don't have kids in college, I'm not saving for my kids' college, this may not be for me, I just want to show you that there are some other opportunities where a 529 account may make sense for you in a continuing education sense as well. And so we'll get into that. And at its core, I wanted to talk about the differences between old and new. The old program in Indiana basically gave you a 20% tax credit for every dollar that you contributed to a 529, up to $5,000 contributed, which would be a $1,000 credit. So simple math, you put in $5,000, you get a state credit of $1,000 on your taxes the following year. The state credit is different than a deduction, and so if you owed the state of Indiana $1,000 and you contributed $5,000 to a 529 account, then you would owe them nothing. If you owed them nothing already, they would cut you a check for $1,000 as a credit to the taxes that you wouldn't have had to pay because you were incentivized to contribute to a 529 account. Well, the recent assembly has changed that amount from a 20% credit to a 30% credit, which means that for every $5,000, the cap is still $5,000. You're not getting a credit for $1,000 anymore. You're getting a credit for $1,500, which is great, and hopefully it'll work toward contributing or incentivizing people to contribute for college or higher expenses that are approved in that world. Also want to spend a moment talking about the fact that 529 accounts can pay for equipment for those programs for higher education, and it can also pay for private school tuition, things of that nature. So the breadth of the different things that a 529 can be used toward has grown over the years as well, and I expect that to continue to happen as we continue to learn about what future careers might look like, what the trainings might look like to be good at those careers. I expect you'll be able to use those $529 for even more things in the future than you are right now. But want to spend some time talking about what it might look like if you are not somebody who's trying to save for kids' college. What about somebody who's looking to go back to school, or somebody who's paying their own way? There is an interesting component of the 529 account that people aren't really using to its full attention, something that I discovered when I was an MBA student, and it made me feel a little bit like Marty Byrde in Ozark in the sense that it sounds like laundering, but I promise you this is completely okay. What you do is you send your money that you would have sent to tuition a couple of weeks before you're ready to pay your tuition into your 529 account. You keep it in the cash portion. You don't invest it because you're going to pull it right back out afterward. And so a couple of days later, I think usually 10 days is probably a good number, you contribute your funds to your 529, you pull your funds out to pay your tuition, and essentially the state of Indiana is going to put up 30% of the first $5,000 of your tuition these days, because you can contribute to those accounts, pull it right back out afterwards. And so if you're in a situation where you are going to college, but you don't have any money in a 529 account, nobody had saved for your college, it's okay. Those are situations that are completely real, and don't be bitter about it. But there are still things you can do to get some benefits from it. And so you could be in a situation where you're a college student and you've washed your 529 money and you've got a $1,500 tax credit. And if you're in most situations, you're probably not paying $1,500 in state taxes as a college student. So you're going to get that credit back. Just make sure that you're showing on your taxes that you contributed to your 529 account. Get with an accountant just to make sure that your situation is kosher with the things that I'm talking about. I know that it's out there and it's possible, but I am not your accountant. I am not a tax professional. I'm just a taxpayer. And so get the bulk of the benefit from these programs that you can. Get your 30% benefit rather than your 20% benefit in previous years. And let me know in the comments if this is something that you think you can benefit for. That's going to bring this episode of the show to a close. As always, you can get in touch with me in the comments down below if you've got feedback for the show, or you've got ideas for future topics, or you're looking to transact real estate in the Indiana market. I can help you with that. again, in the comments or at indiedwell.com. Until next time, this is Anthony Drew Gary, host of The How To Show, signing off.